This was not our first attempt to film a visit to Nacogdoches, so I'm going to mix in a little bit of footage from our first trip with our second trip. On our second trip, by the time we got to Nacogdoches, we were starving, so we stopped at the Cowboy Jack Saloon. On our first trip, we stopped at one of his sister restaurants called Dolly's Diner. Cactus Jack Saloon is more kind of a Tex-Mex, Southwest. Dolly's is more diner food, which would be why it's called Dolly's Diner. At Dolly's, I can definitely recommend anything with the blueberries in it. On our first trip to Nacogdoches, we made one critical mistake. We showed up on Sunday. Like many small towns, there is almost nothing to do in Nacogdoches on Sunday. So if you're going to make a day trip to Nacogdoches, we do not recommend visiting on Sunday. And we also made a completely different mistake on our second trip. On our second trip, we showed up during spring break. Nacogdoches is a college town. When Stephen F. Austin State University is closed for the semester or on break, there's not as much to do in Nacogdoches. And one of the things we had been looking forward to was visiting the Stone Fort Museum, which is on the campus of Stephen F. Austin. And it was closed because of spring break. So we do plan to make a second trip to Nacogdoches. Well, actually, no, technically this will be a third trip to Nacogdoches. And we will visit the Stone Fort Museum then. So we went with our backup and visited the Sterne-Hoya House. Sam Houston was a guest there. In fact, I think they said he was baptized into the Catholic faith in one of the rooms of that house. During the 1950s, the house was donated to the city of Nacogdoches with the restriction that it become a library. So a few decades later, they discovered that the weight of all the books in the house was doing some serious damage to the structure, and that the house would not be able to maintain its structural integrity unless they removed the books. But one of the conditions of it being public property is that it has to be a library. So they kept one room of books, and it is a small public library. At this point, it was getting a little bit late in the day. We had time for one more stop, so we wanted to walk along the Lanana Nature Trail. And I wanted to see the Eyes of Father, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this. I'm pretty sure it's Father Margil. Father Margil was a Spanish priest, so I'm going to go with the Spanish pronunciation. There is a whole legend about how this spring sprung into existence. Father Margil, according to the story, struck the rock in two places, and where he struck the rock, water sprung forth. Usually the springs run dry, is what I hear, but they were kind of flowing when we were there. Thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you saw in this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to know more about the locations in this video, be sure and check out the link in the description box below. Bye.